What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. We are back with the El Cid campaign. Mission number 4, Black Guards.
King Alfonso watched with alarm as the combined Christian-Moorish forces of the Cid gained power and prestige. Finally, he could stand it no longer, and sent his own army against Motamid's Moors at Zaragoza. As much as he would have liked to come to the assistance of his friend Motamid, the Cid could not draw steel against King Alfonso, as he was still the Cid's rightful lord. Since the Cid could not assist him, Motamid was forced to seek help elsewhere. When he contacted the Almoravid Berbers who lived beyond the sea in Gibraltar, however, he received more than he bargained for. These veiled religious zealots waged a continuous jihad across the barren dunes of the Sahara. Their leader, the fanatical Yusuf, who never showed his face, immediately prepared to cross the ocean into Spain with thousands of men and camels. King Alfonso's army was certain to crumble beneath this new wave of invaders.
It's always shocking to me when people say like, Africa is so far away, blah 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 blah. And you have Gibraltar there, and you can basically look over to Europe, and it's always a crazy thought when people act like that's a million miles away, and there is no way that Africa even remotely connects to Europe. Crazy. So, follow the knight in order to rescue King Alfonso. El Cid must survive. King Alfonso must survive. We can get 125 people. Save King Alfonso as quickly as possible. Yeah, that's alright. If you wish to convert enemy buildings, you will need to research redemption. And the sea can be an important battlefield and a good source of food. Yeah, it's not going to be important anytime soon, but let's jump right into it. There we go.
Hurry, my son. King Alfonso's forces are deep in Moorish territory and are horribly outnumbered.
Actually, he needs number 1 and the rest can then fight.
This way, hurry!
Yeah, we want to rescue Mr. Alfonso, man, and then we want to book it, but these guys will all die and fight.
Rodrigo, if you have any loyalty left, you will save me from the Moors. Please, cover my retreat to my camp to the west.
And these guys will go over here now. These guys do not respawn. Oh, they do not despawn. I'm very sorry. So getting rid of them right about now would actually be a good idea, especially since you can fight them from the hill here. The fighting sound has disappeared again for some reason. And if you manage to get rid of some of these guys, that would be pretty good. Especially if you can get them early.
Able to transport soldiers across the Strait of Gibraltar and must postpone their invasion of Spain. The second wave of marauders. We must flee.
So they're basically just... Hold on, I will just quickly try to fix this. Alright, yeah, we were sending their units away. And basically what we did was make sure that we get as many of them as possible, and what that means is they have less that retreat to their own city, obviously. We do want to get rid of this tower here if possible. And we want to get rid of... No, the conch! We want to get rid of the tower here, and we want to get them off of that gold because we want that gold for ourselves, because 3 tiles is not a whole lot. If we're being entirely honest here. The fish here is alright, but that's certainly not the navy that they were talking about. Oh, we can use a dock there to get some tax if you want. That would be a way of getting some tax early. We have this guy here. Let's give him number 1. These guys here are just be in a corner of a map. They're obviously not someone that you want to risk. Oh, it's not someone you want to attack early. Certainly would rather have him defend the gold here and stay in a secure position. And there's some stone as well that you can grab for later on. Stone will be important. You can you build a dock here? No, not as long as fish is there. So that's kind of a shame. You can't actually speed up your economy creation, which will kind of be the goal of the dock, is that you can produce 2 units instead of 1 with that. But like I said, you unfortunately can't. You can put a TC here. It's actually a pretty good spot for food and wood, and you have 2 tiles of gold here, which isn't awful, but it's also not a whole lot. Now we are slowly starting to go into wood, not wood, stone. And we're using these guys to get out a TC here. There are no great spots here, but there are terrible and less terrible spots. Which is probably why we placed the hills like that. Let's put it to the south. That's certainly a better spot overall. Right, and we want to replenish the stone supply a little bit, or the stone amount that we have a little bit, so that we can put up a castle within a reasonable time frame. Now this has to be taken down eventually as well, because we will need the resources, but one thing after the other.
Please do not destroy our place of worship. Instead, summon the Cid to us that we may speak with him.
I believe you have to convert it. Mosque, wherever it is. That's what you need redemption for, which is why it's mentioned in the tips at the start. And you certainly want to make sure that you can put up some economy early. How did these guys end up here? You certainly want to make sure that you end up with some good economy early, so that you can start putting up farms as quickly as you can once you run out of fish. You don't want to be stuck not being able to produce farms early on in the game. And we're also going into wood here a little bit here. There we go, let's produce some more villagers. Let's get rid of this. Let's keep them here. This will be the focal point of their attacks early on in the game. Probably into the mid game as well. Plenty of guys on food at the moment, but we will have to transition into farms soon as well. And I'm starting the transition process. And we will have to get out a castle reasonably quickly as well if we wish to be safe in that position, which obviously we do. Now I wish I... Uh-oh. That's not good. Certainly would like Botkin right about now, but... Good thing here is they walk right into your town center, so... You could still get rid of them, so to speak. They're not much of a problem in that sense. They are still alive, which is good. We are following a camel rider around, which isn't ideal. Let's actually let him explore. We will likely soon put up a castle. One, two, three. Get out some more farms. So they're on the fish and they can stay there for quite a while. But I transitioned into farms here quite a bit already. I would like to get another TC up there, if we can put it somewhere here. There's no reason to do that, come on. Like, just make the ground a little more flat. Where's the spot? There's no reason to tie your hands behind your back like that and not give you a whole lot of options. Do we have one? No, we don't. We'll bring the city to the mosque eventually, but right now I don't really care. It gives you the monastery tax, but I don't need the monastery tax, so I don't really care. I'll actually send them out. And then I'll put a castle here. Now some people will tell you put the castle on the hill, but when you have it behind the town center, and I'm not a big fan of that. And putting the TC further back also is not the greatest idea in my opinion. But you know, everyone has his own opinions on that stuff, so it's totally fine obviously. I still would like Vodka Arrow rather quickly. Soon pop capped. Let's get out some houses here. Our TC should be up soon as well. Yeah, it's just about to be done. And we're out of stone in that position. Come on, get vodka. And I'd like to get murder holes as well, because the AI sucks against that. But you know how it is. Let's put them here. Just don't have quite enough economy here. With a ton of wood though. Something I'm very familiar with. Second guy there. And get rid of this. There we go. And we can take that. With vodka now we do not have bracer, but I certainly want some more food ASAP. Put one here. There we go. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Actually, these are a bit more than danger. Put some guys into the town center as well, so that everyone is... Oh, well, we lost one guy, but that's not a big deal. I could use murder holes, though. Well, and bracer, obviously, but... bracer isn't that big of a deal. This is probably more important right now. Let's research some tech here. Actually, let's stop researching. Not stop researching, let's stop producing in that spot. So we can probably reach that once we have Bracer, but obviously we don't. Now with this I also want ballistics and some more building HP, because that ought to be useful. And we probably have enough eco. We have 67 wills and 125 pop. That's normally enough. At least in a AI battle like this one. Do I want a TC here? I probably do, but maybe I don't, and I'm not entirely sure. So you will send your villagers to safety a lot, but it's a price to pay of having that forward base, but it's kind of a small price to pay. So yeah, we more or less There's another one coming, but we can get that down probably rather quick. Yeah, we're more or less done with economy production, so, and getting out wills in general. So we are fine there. Treadmill Crane, in my opinion, one of the more underrated. Well, multiplayer it's not very important, but it still is somewhat underrated. I still like to get it. It saves time, and saving time is pretty good. So when you have the time, use it. But then again, I want Chambarding armor now because I also want Light Cav and then Hussars helping us. And this I will go into a mix of Hussars for the raiding purpose and Mamelukes, and for Mamelukes obviously also want husbandry. Let's get Treadmill Crane anyway, we will have a lot of food income eventually. There we go. So we will still have a lot of food income here, so we can easily afford Treadmill Crane. We'll get husbandry, we'll get iron casting. Iron casting should be done before Imperial Age hits, and even if not, we can probably get onto the Bracer upgrade ASAP. Let's get 5 Mamelukes out already. I do want to be able to get Bracer once it is available, but I'm not really afraid of that. Let's get one more out here. We have enough gold for the moment. The second castle, and we can put that one on this little hill here. So that one actually is on a hill, this one obviously is not. And we should be in a decent position there. Whether we actually want to push on that position remains to be seen. I am, well, not torn on it, but I'm not really emotionally invested, you could say. Obviously camel units having more hit points. It's not that expensive, so we can get that pretty soon as well, especially if we didn't queue everything already, but it doesn't really matter. Let's actually put this up here so that we don't need to walk around so much. And now we have Bracer, now we can attack them already. Let's get Zealotry, and I would like to get Elite Mamelukes as well. That'll cost a little bit, but it's fine. Oh, there without a job. That's sad, I guess. Let's actually move him a bit forward. There we go. Don't want that. Alright, there we go. Wood economy here is more or less done. I'll move that over here. Get rid of that. We want Bosa, obviously. And yeah, we'll take down these buildings. I do want siege engineers as well, obviously. And I want elite Mamelukes. So yeah, the tax, it will take a while until we got all of that, but we're working on it. And we have time on our side. This guy seems a bit trapped. These guys can go over here and take that down. Yusuf now into the Imperial Age. We will get elite Mamelukes. And oh, that costs 600 wood as well, okay. It would all of a sudden turning into a bit of a problem here. And yeah, that one is down, but it's not a big problem. Let's keep those guys safe. Doesn't look like anything is going to be an issue here. So they're attacking this now, and I'm just clearing pop space for the inevitable spam of units, which we will send their way. Then we will send a concentrated attack to there. We'll get rid of the castle next. So this is now our attack force, and we're actually out of gold. That's shocking, actually. So the 600 gold that we need for the Hussar upgrade is actually... well, it's not going to be hard to come by. So we're going to take a moment to replenish the gold there so that we can research that. And we certainly have to be careful with our trebuchets. Just throwing them away like that won't really work, I'm afraid. So we might want to make sure that we stay in a good position here. That tower is actually still alive. So yeah, we certainly want to stay in a good position, and we want to make sure that we keep on the pressure, but at the same time we want to make sure that we don't throw away too many of our units. Especially the trebuchets, because they're so expensive, but also the Mamelukes. They're also very expensive units, so... We're also starting with Hussar production now. So that's pretty good, and we make sure we fight under the castle whenever we can. Obviously Hussars aren't going to be good against the camels, but very good for soaking up arrow damage, very good for just generally pushing into the opponent, giving us a pretty good position to work from. Also just scouting out the opponent's area here. So we're soon done producing them here, and yeah, we're pretty much running into a base here, and okay, let's go in here. Now these guys will get into the fight here, and we will raid a bit here, and they're going to play a major role in keeping away these cavalry archers, because they're obviously good against ranged attacks. So So keeping those away from us will be vital, and now we send them into the economy. Because we have camel archers coming and those tears to shreds. I don't have Berbers, so that's actually a lot more fitting than in the original campaign. Obviously there were no Berbers in the original campaign. Because they didn't exist then. Well, in the game they didn't exist, they obviously existed in reality at some point. I mean, why would they not? We're going into the heart of the economy here. And we are also attacking right into this economy. And let's send these guys down. We're annoying them. These guys are just here for annoyance. Whereas our actual army is obviously this one. It's here for more of an annoyance. But yeah, this is just keeping them down, making sure that they are busy defending stuff they don't want to defend. Namely hussars running wild in their base. I think nobody wants to defend that. Also gunning down skirmishers here and just forcing them into an uncomfortable fight, I would say. There's another tower, so obviously we have to fight that, which is annoying, but let's use these on that one. Actually use them on the scorpions here, so we don't need to waste health on our expensive units. That's another thing we're good for, right? And we will certainly send them. There we go. More economy going down. So yeah, that's kind of the purpose of the hussars, just raiding them and making sure they are going to have an annoying time and not a whole lot of fun with us here. We're transitioning into pikemen, which is a decent defensive option, but it's obviously not a very good offensive one. Let's put an ATC here. Send the Cid there. Should now be in a position where we can send him there without fearing that he dies. And we're actually pop capped. Interesting. Oh, that is fun. What are you doing? Yeah, we're also fighting a lot of skirmishes, so they are trash fighting us because they are out of gold. And well, we are not.
Most tolerant, my son. Take our mosque under your protection by sending a holy man to convert it, and, though I should not, I will help you to defeat Yusuf and his blackguards.
You are so generous, man. You're so generous. A ton of this, but selling isn't really worth a whole lot, so. Let's take out the other siege workshop. We're also fighting a lot of fights that aren't really worth it for us, because we're fighting a lot of pikemen, and fighting pikemen with hussars is obviously a not so great idea. But fighting skirms with hussars is a good idea, so who can blame you, right? Also, all of these towers are a major annoyance. Well, what are you gonna do? Oh, we need redemption as well. Yeah, we can research what was on our way. Let's get rid of that guy. Yep, let's set the gather point down here again. Oh, it's an actual army. Let's replenish that a little bit. We're down to 36. And let's take down the villagers. There's another one. Yeah, we have all the upgrades. We can just send them over there, that's fine. Well, sorry. Actually down to 53 bills, which is not a whole lot. It's not nothing, but it's not a whole lot. There we go, now we're in the correct building. Taking down the bills. Also blowing a lot of our units, but I don't really care about that. Oops. And which is more important, we are strengthening our grip on them. We're basically down, we're right inside the city, so they got nothing on us. Oh good, you're getting wood. That's exactly what I sent you here for. Exactly the job that I envisioned for you. Glad you're doing it. The towers are highly annoying. I'm somewhat glad I still have all of these hussars running about. At least getting somewhat of a grip on the situation. With skirmishers and heavy units running around. Pikemen obviously being a big annoyance, but we keep their economy pretty far down. And that is the important part here. They can't really do anything about us, so I'm tempted to go into rams. Because I think with all of the towers here it would be a little bit quicker, but the lack of gold, having units that stay alive in the form of the trebuchets, it's probably a good idea. And we can replenish these guys all day. Hussars. That's another villager and another one. Certainly don't want to lose our Mamluks though, because those are quite expensive. I really need to give them let's give them number 2, 3, and 4. Set everything one step back. Let's take down the stables here. What the hell are you doing? So we'll get rid of a lot of their... Oh, whoops, that's not... What are you... Okay. Can you please... Fine, shoot at the tower here, I don't care. Let's get rid of the villagers in here. It's actually a pretty good spot to gather up. Sure, keep the units down. Oh, that's not good. The good thing here is that we are flanking them. So that the archers pushed into by the Hussars, which wasn't actually all that bad. I mean, yeah, it was camel archers and were good against the Hussars, but it was still all in all not that bad. Let's get rid of that tower. And we're still getting rid of quite a few guys here. We must have some army sitting idle somewhere. I mean, outside of these guys. Not really. All in action, but it just feels like we should have more Hussars. We don't need you guys, I'm sorry.
Thanks, my Cid. I feel free to help you because I have foreseen your victory. I seek only to bring the bloodshed
over
and the
here.
swift foes.
Yeah, we don't have
The
much pop
transports
space
are
for.
the key. Destroy the Blackguard Navy's transports and you will effectively cripple the arrival of reinforcements.
Yeah, we will do that. Reasonably soon even. Let's send these guys over here. Kill them, kill these guys.
Also, my Cid, if you should wish to leave a holy man here at the mosque, we will teach him all that we know.
Yeah, he's still right there. That gets you the free tax, which isn't bad at all. Oh, that's not good. I'll fight over here, that's fine. And we're right into the economy again. Sanctity researched. Yeah, there's no reason to bombard these houses, obviously. Get rid of that villager. And of this one, and that one, and these. And just generally of everything that we can find. And they will come from this side. I mean, this isn't a hard scenario, it's just, it takes a while, but it's not particularly difficult or anything. Yeah, I am very tempted to use rams. It just takes forever to push through with the trebuchets, or maybe you should use more trebuchets. Maybe that would make things a little bit easier. Towers are the annoying part. I'll delete these guys by the way, so... Or bombard cannons would be fine as well, I would assume. We don't even have very many Hussars, we have like 10 at most. I actually create quite some havoc in the economy, that is. And we force these guys into way more reaction than a couple of Hussars should be able to. There we go, mass producing rams. Send them down here, why not? Obviously the rams will mostly supplement Hussars because we're not going to lose a ton of what are they called? Mamelukes. And since we're not going to lose a ton of Mamelukes,
I have learned the
so
ways
we'll replace our Hussars.
now they teach me herbal medicine.
Sure, herbal medicine is fine. Take everything. This guy is wounded, too wounded to fight. We don't need you, sorry. So the rams are now in attack. Send them down here. It's just you have no space to fight here, and that's so annoying. As a fight in total, it's so annoying. Also, we don't have siege engineers. Oh god. That was a bit of a blunder, I must admit. There we go, there we go, there we go. This guy's dead. Let's get this guy. Yeah, this is fine. Probably should still keep producing these guys, right? You can see how many villagers are actually running around in the area when you stop killing them off. So actually start running around freely, you can just tell how many there actually are around here. Hint, it's quite a lot of them. Let's get rid of that dark one out. This ram takes this takes that. Need more rams, by the way. Oh, that's sweet. Someone over here, over here. Three are just roam around here. Ah, this is looking better now. Absolute insanity. Where's the second trebuchet? Oh, there it is. We can go for that. Rams will get rid of the towers. Trebuchet gets rid of the building here, the dock. I'll actually sit here and get rid of the units. This as well. And I don't really care about the ships here, I really don't.
I've mastered the focuses of remedies and herbal medicine. Now I am studying the ways of a home.
These guys are done. So we'll put up a castle right on the shore. I don't care about your demolition ships, who do you think you are? So, 1 dock, 2 docks. Come on, another one. Alright, that's free.
We're halfway through the Blackguard Navy's docks, and halfway to stopping the advance of Yuzuf's invasion.
Let's go down there and try to get rid of them. Nope, you stay here. This is going to be quite difficult because we don't have any range. Let's get these guys over here. Let's actually add a few more. What do you... Once the castle is up, we can get away from this position as well. That worked pretty well. Okay, it no longer works. Bit of a shame. Right, so this is down. We don't need to destroy all that. A waste of time. Actually, we shouldn't do that just yet. Replenish the units down there, that'll be fine. Trebuchets on my way. Send them in. Hope we don't lose too many units. Oops. Nearly lost that. Another castle on the other side here. Should actually be able to replenish most of our forces here. Space going down a little bit, but having a castle down there will obviously help. And sending the rams forward was somewhat risky. And not necessarily the smartest move ever by anyone ever in the world, but yeah, what are you gonna do? You can incorporate a navy now if you really want to. Personally, I don't care about doing that. Again, if you really want to, that's certainly something you can do.
Days of atonement are now out. The monks now teach me the place.
And we're pushing here. And pushing pretty well. The Hussars aren't bad at pushing into here because they also don't have a whole lot left, so it's not like they are fighting you with Mamluks, or they were Berbers. They're not fighting you with only camel archers and camels, and you're sitting here with your... Hold on. And then you're sitting there with your Hussars getting wrecked by them, so that would be an issue, but... There we go, that's Blackbear entry here. Let's send the Mamelukes in, we are way past the point where we need to worry. Go, let's take this down. Yeah, they are done as well. This dock will be down, this one will be down, so that will be 6 of 6. Production is entirely destroyed. Sure, let's take this down, why not? We have the units to do it. There's really no reason to worry at all. Oh, that one hurt. There we go. Alright, now we can get on this dock. That's good. Put another one right into our city. Just because we can. Yeah, the Rams will. I'll get rid of this. Pop kept it anyway, it doesn't matter if we lose anything. Pop kept with pretty full production lines, so. Or queues. They got absolutely nothing to fight us with, so. There we go, that's 6 of 6.
Without his transports, Yusuf would have to call off his invasion.
We didn't destroy transport ships, but who cares, right? Without his transports, he still has them. Should I tell him? Nah, let's not tell him. Or else we have to fight on. There we go. Let's look at the end screen.
Only have mentioned that Spain was in jeopardy, and the Cid would have come. And when the Cid did finally come to his king's aid, the Berbers were crushed, and their leader Yusuf was forced to flee back to Africa. The Cid bowed to Alfonso, ready to return to his rightful place as the king's champion. But King Alfonso was angered that the Cid had not arrived sooner and ordered him to return to his exile.
Alfonso is a
He
moron.
seized the Cid's wife and children. Many long years did I rot in the dungeons of Castile.
An absolute moron. Alright, but the mission was fine. We should have built rams earlier. That accelerated the progress a lot. So yeah, we should have done that. But outside of that, it was fine. we just waltzed through them and never really were in any danger. The only real attacks they had were right at the start, and they just wasted all of their units into our town center and then later the castle, so it was pointless on their end as well, especially because they don't use any siege. So that really negates anything they could be doing, so this one pretty easy. So hope you enjoyed it, thank you for watching, and until next time, farewell.